I'm just kind of like, you know what? Yeah, all you motherfuckers get crazy. Yeah. You notice that this is I believe, I don't know if this is on Netflix or streaming in general, but this was the most watched movie over the weekend. Wow. Probably for Netflix. Now, not show, but, oh, sorry.
Me.
My young white daddy.
Yeah.
This was the #1 movie that everybody was talking about, and everybody was talking shit about this movie. Currently stands at 0% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Really?
Crops did not come in that day, Martin.
Wow.
They died.
Zero, huh?
0%.
Okay. All right.
I'm really surprised and shocked to hear that. You mean a movie about where crime is rampant and the government creates a zap, a radio wave that they just blast out like like the internet and gets rid of crime in one day? You mean to tell me that premise right there, that didn't get any fresh tomatoes at all? That's it, people. But you know what?
Yeah, when there's riots in the streets and cops are abusing people, that's not popular right now.
Yeah. You mean that didn't sell? Now, I don't know how it is in the book. In the book, this is based on a graphic novel, The Last Days of American Crime, same name, Rick Remender and Greg Ticini. Apparently, they made microwaves that could be blasted out from an antenna, like a cell tower antenna, and commit people from ever committing crimes again. Thus, you have the last days of American crime, because after that, there ain't going to be no more. Let's go ahead and watch the trailer for this. Let's watch the trailer right now.
That signal freezes you. It stops you from doing anything illegal. They use the signal to kill your brother. I want to use it to steal their money.
I haven't read the book. I didn't even know that this was. You said you did? Mm-hmm. So I didn't know that this was. I'm gonna ask you about it because I didn't know that this was a graphic novel before until after I saw it. And that's good. You can tell me some differences here. I will tell you what I saw, and so I don't know how much this makes sense because we're making fun of this for them sending out a cell phone signal that can jam up people's brains and make them not commit crime. When you put it like that, anything can sound silly. Maybe, it's all the details that you go into. Maybe they do that in the book. Because I do think it's an interesting premise because the way the movie starts out, it actually starts out like The Purge.
Yeah.
In a way. Except after 24 hours, people just kept on purging.
Yeah.
And so it got so bad that the government had to create a wave to zap people's brains to stop them from committing crimes. Except like on the day before because they announced it to the public. They're like, all right, just to let y'all know, we're going to zap the out all y'all. And y'all ain't going to be able to commit no more crimes.
Yeah, on the 25th or whatever day it was, we're going to zap you so you can't commit crimes. So between now and then, you better get it all in.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. So the police are just kind of like, you know what, let them go ahead and have fun. We all have a job anyway by tomorrow. So, yeah, you know what, let them go ahead. This shit don't make sense at all. That's Martin. I'm talking about the movie. Like I said, anything could work the way you write it, but the way they wrote it, stupid. I'm going to tell you that right now. I need an explanation on this shit. I need you to tell me, look, and I'll tell you why it doesn't work. I'll tell you why in a little while. Because, again, I don't mind a dumb premise, but you got to do something in particular if you're not going to take the time to explain something that could be very stupid if you don't take the time out to let us know what it is. Was it like that in the book?
Oh, don't look to me to help you at this point because I read the book. I read it while I was watching this. And the answers that you want are not in the book. The book is not that good.
Okay. I kind of like the movie.
Honestly, Rick Remender is a good writer. He's written a lot of good things.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a 100% track record.
Gotcha.
And of all the things he's written that you would choose to do an adaptation of, when I read this, I was like, why'd you pick this?
Yeah.
It's full of cliches. That premise that is promising, much like this movie, it gets forgotten so much. It just comes up in blurbs every so often. And it's really just something it's all a gimmick for the climax.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's kind of like, wow, you barely touched on this whole thing.
To be fair, though, I mean, when you have like a ridiculous plot where it's like you send a phone wave, and it's going to cancel all crime in everyone's minds. Like, if you attempt to over-explain that, then that too can be stupid. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword, I would imagine. It's like, how do you balance that and make it actually work, like, either way? Maybe explain it too much would be it would be too much for people to no, they'd be like, no, it's bullshit. Of course not.
I can explain that for you in a little bit because, it's like, all right, I can say, I can go with it. You don't even have to explain shit to me. I mean, it's stupid. Like I say, once you pull out a gun, you still start getting headaches and drooling and getting sweats and migraines and ears start hurting and shit.
Show don't tell.
Your face turns into a goddamn Instagram filter. You get eyes and shit. Yeah, I don't look. I don't give a. In fact, you know what? If it's all about the action, don't explain shit to me. Just go. I gotta talk about this director's name because I'm familiar with this man's work.
Are you?
And I'm gonna show you how crazy this man is.
Okay.
Anytime you have a director whose name is Olivier Megaton, anytime you got a guy calling himself that, the movie's probably trying a little bit too hard. Anytime you got somebody call themselves any kind of fake name, they're probably trying a little bit too hard. This guy, his real name is I think Olivier Fontaine.
Okay, probably Oliver Fontaine.
Oliver, yeah. And I guess he said, I could
accent to Oliver.
Yeah. I could either go off and be a male stripper, or I could change my name to Megaton.
Make movies.
And be somebody who's even crazier than Michael Bay. Because the thing with Michael Bay is Michael Bay will go in and say what you will about his films. He will go in and try to he'll pay attention to the action at least.
Yes, he will.
He will go in and try to choreograph his action to a T. Everything else,
story, character.
People. No, I ain't here for the people.
Yeah.
I'm here to blow shit up and to make action look cool, to hit civilians with cars. This movie right here, it intentionally stretches itself out. I'm gonna tell you, this is the reason why it's stupid. Because this man right here, it doesn't help that the movie is 2.5 hours long. Wow, this movie is so far up its own ass. This is a movie. There's no reason that this movie needs to be 2.5 hours long, but it takes itself so seriously. It takes itself so seriously that it intentionally makes itself 2.5 hours long, so it can say the epic from Olivier Megaton. Ain't nothing epic about it. It's epically stupid.
Yeah.
This is a movie where a guy wants to rob a bank before the government zaps everybody's mind and takes crime out of people's brains. If you don't have a great way to explain how this brain zap works, and they don't, cool. Do your shit in 1.5 hours and get the out of here. I don't need an explanation for this shit at all. As long as I'm here, not all goddamn day.
Right?
We can be just as dumb as you want to be, man.
Yeah, have your simple premise, keep it dumb, but give me some kick-ass action and get out in 90 minutes or less, and I'll walk away feeling happy.
Either you have to be a really fun movie, people can't take themselves seriously, or you got to get the fuck out of here. Face Off is a movie about two motherfuckers that switch faces, and all of a sudden their whole body's changed.
Well, they explained that.
They didn't explain shit.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
They explained it.
Yes, they did, Brett.
Yes, they did, Brett.
They explained the dumbest ass way possible. But you know what? And the movie was long. The movie was dumb. Even the way they tried to explain it was dumb. But you know what? That
movie is fun as shit.
It really is.
I actually don't like the movie. But you know what? I get why people do, because no one takes it seriously.
Yeah.
You can't have some movie where everybody's brain gets zapped. You talking about the city, one last time, one last job. Get the out of here.
You can get away with a lot, with a ridiculous premise if you have a lot of comedy. Is this movie funny? Does it
Yeah. No, it's hilarious. It's hilarious watching people up for 2.5 hours and think that they're really doing some great shit. No, that's funny as hell, man.
Unintentionally funny.
Oh, no, it's hilarious making people think they got gold right here. People think they doing some thespian shit, some deep level drama, and they in the biggest pile of shit. See, here's the thing, man. The reason why I mentioned this director's work, Olivier Megaton, and mentioned the length of this film is because it's not only you get to sit up here and think about how bad this premise is, but you get to see how just how over the top his filmmaking is. But within that 2.5 hours, and this shit is over the top, he's still going crazy with this. But for people who look at this and say, Jesus Christ, man, this guy's, his attention span is insane. He's actually become a lot better.
That's good.
I would say 2.5 hours, you do see the flaws and a lot of things that he's doing. But within that 2.5 hours, I was like, man, we went 2.5 hours and all your editing makes sense at least. You know, at least your stuff, your action somewhat is, I can comprehend.
Coherent. Yeah.
Coherent, yeah. Give me, the reason why I say that is because y'all have to go back and look at some of his work because he's one of the few guys, and I thought it was just me. I said, man, you know what? Maybe I'm just that guy that sees too many movies, and I'm that film nerd in the room talking about, oh, the editing in this was atrocious. Ain't nobody looking at editing. But with this man right here, you can't help but notice it, man.
Yeah.
This motherfucker stays in the editing room and gives his editors a constant diet of caffeine and blow. Because he doesn't edit the movies himself, but I swear he's in there saying, cut here, cut here, cut here, cut here, cut here. If you go, so this guy directed 2 Taken movies.
Oh,
and
2 and 3?
Yep.
2 and 3,
Yeah.
and also The Transporter 3. Now,
Okay.
The Transporter 3 is where I first noticed. I was like, the f is wrong with this guy? It's like he has 20 assistant cameramen all filming the same shot. He takes every piece of footage and cuts to all of them. There's a scene where Jason Statham was on a bike. And it's like, you'll almost break your neck getting whiplash watching how many cuts there are in here. Look at this.
Jesus.
Oh, wait. Did you edit that? Or is that just how it plays?
That's
in
the
the
movie. I didn't edit that shit. You bet, Martin. How petty do you think I am? You think I'm gonna edit some shit like that to make somebody look bad?
Just for the review
You think I'm
itself.
Martin? How dare you, sir?
Okay.
How dare you? How dare you judge my integrity? No, hell no to do that. No, he did that.
It gets worse than that.
He did that to himself. Look again, people. That is if you ain't broke your neck yet. Look at this.
Wow.
There are parts of the continuity doesn't work either. Like he's farther ahead, but they still do like shots where he's farther back.
Right.
That's how bad it is.
He's
a
all
remix.
over the place.
Yeah.
Like if editing was a button, he'd be in there just. and that's not even the worst. Now I tell you, for Taken 3, boy, he didn't give a fuck anymore. He either went crazy or just didn't give a shit. People, you have to look at this to understand what I'm saying. Now I will give him just a little bit of slack. I'll cut him a little slack on Taken 3 because he had to kind of cover for Liam Neeson's old ass. Not being able to run and jump over fences.
You have to edit around an old man who just can't move the way he should, like the character demands.
Like they actually had, he's not gonna jump over the fence. Nope. So you have to keep editing with him, like on the fence, on the other side of the fence, kind of over the fence,
putting one leg over.
Yeah. You ain't gonna ever get a jump. No. He'll be in different positions. Just good. God damn it, get it. Falling. You know?
Help him up.
Yeah.
Push him over.
You'll get him hanging on that fence. Get it. Yeah. I'm falling. But you ain't gonna ever get him leaping over that shit. And this is actually a legendary editing job.
Yeah, I've
right
heard you
here.
guys talk about it, but I've never seen it.
Oh, yeah, man, when we were talking about this back in the day, we talked about the editing.
When you reviewed the movie.
Well, yeah, when we reviewed the movie, we talked about how long it took Liam Neeson to get him over a fence. Not a big stunt, a regular fence. That dog is like, what the f is happening?
I don't know where I am right now.
That dog is like, I'm just confused. He's like, he was right there. Where'd he go?
It's like he's slowly teleporting like by a couple of feet or inches.
Yeah.
That's really what it is.
Look at this shit.
They're cutting even before he gets to the
man in
fence.
silhouette.
The stuntman is, and even the stuntman. Did y'all notice, people? Did you notice that he never went over the fence?
No.
Even with the stuntman, they never got him over the fence. They were on this side, back on this side again, up here, down here. But they never had. If that shit, even Stallone at this age would have said, I'll jump the fence.
Yeah.
And you know, action movies, they show people jumping fences like this.
Right.
Liam Neeson said, "F that."
I was in Schindler's List. I'm not climbing over a fence.
That dog is having a seizure right now. Taking and another part, Taken 3. And this is the last I talked about this, but this man is crazy. Olivia Megaton. He just don't even explain shit. Did you see Taken 3?
No.
There's a scene in Taken 3 where they knock his ass over a cliff. Yeah. He's in that car.
Yeah.
That car goes down that hill and explodes.
A 65-year-old man.
And they don't ever explain how he got out of the car. You never saw a scene where he got out of the car.
Ex machina. They talk about that in Stephen King's Misery, where Annie's going on about character goes off the cliff and we see it, and then in the next serial, they're already out of the car before it went off the cliff, but we never saw them jump out.
Yeah.
That's cheating. You can't do that.
Well, that car, that's all in the same shot.
That's cock-a-doodle.
That car hits a rock and explodes. The bad guys go away. Once that shit explodes, we just see Liam Neeson walking out looking at me like, God damn, was I in that shit?
Oh, well, something like that happens in this movie, too.
Oh, you have to tell me a little later where that is.
Oh, you saw it. If you watched the whole movie, you saw it.
Maybe I turned my head or something.
Editing was so bad that you couldn't realize that it happened.
But you know, the editing in this is good enough to where the action, as you say, is coherent, except for the part Martin's talking about. And you know what? And I appreciate the style that's in the movie. I mean, the style sometimes a little too much. I mean, it's one of those movies where everybody lives in shit that they normally wouldn't live in real life because in that world it's cinematic. Like people live in warehouses where they decorate the place with mannequins and neon.
To be fair, a lot of action films do that nowadays, though.
Yeah,
that's a gimmick that has been like throughout this decade.
It's as
John Wick does that.
It's like Fight Club House has become an aesthetic.
Yeah, where they strategically put holes in the newspaper on the windows so it gets like really cool lighting and everything. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I like the style. Like I said, it's kind of silly.
We see it often now. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you know, even if you live in a shitty loft, not a loft, but if you live in a trailer. If you live in a trailer, even the inside of your trailer looks like a trendy downtown bar with neon.
Neon helps. Yeah.
You know, this is a movie where everybody, the men and the women, are trying to be so tough that they end up looking stupid because you know they're trying to be so cool, trying to be so dark, as they say these lines,
Gritty,
trying to be so gritty and yeah, and it's just people don't talk this way. Samuel Jackson says a lot of dumb shit, but he sells it because he's Samuel Jackson. None of these people are Samuel Jackson at all. The first character in the movie is stupid ass dialogue.
Yeah, I think about when this movie opens and before I knew it was a bad movie because you come in, you're like, all right, let me take you on your terms and see where we go with this.
Sure.
And yeah, it's kind of like that feeling of, I feel like that wasn't that good, but yeah, who knows? Let's give it a chance.
Show me a bit more.
And the more it goes on, you're like, yeah, I'm losing the thread of what's supposed to be happening.
No,
here.
in the beginning of the movie, the first character you're introduced to is the stupid ass dialogue. So again, it's not like they didn't try to tell you.
Character.
It's like before you see anybody on, the screen is black with some credits still going on, and this motherfucker just mumbling the dumbest ass lines underneath it, man. It's a combination of trying to be really gritty, really tough, but it's forced cool, and you can tell that these people think that it's cooler than way more than what it's coming across.
Wouldn't regular have done the job? There's a reason. It burns much slower.
It burns much slower. The whole dialogue is like, why'd that stupid motherfucker go get diesel? Wouldn't regular have done the job?
Right.
No, because it burns much slower.
It's like that noir dialogue.
That's
here.
in the book.
Yeah, oh, jeez.
Oh, Rick. It's unfortunate.
Jesus. But at least that makes sense. It's stupid, but it makes sense. But there's some dialogue in here that don't even make any sense.
Oh, there's plenty of it.
Oh, this is the worst. Don't listen. You can't be trying to act all cool when you saying shit that's not only dumb, but just don't even make no goddamn sense. Who's the girl in here?
Anna Brewster.
Anna Brewster. Bless her heart, man. She's sexy, and she's trying to put that sexiness into these lines, but they got this girl saying some dumb shit, and it just don't make any sense.
The government was learning, playing Jesus with people's brains.
What the does that mean?
Playing Jesus.
And it's a movie that has too many different narrators.
Playing Jesus with people's brains. What the does that mean?
I know,
What, are you trying to make you turning my brain into wine? What the is that? What the does that mean? You know, I don't. You know, when you say something and you think you're saying it real cool, when you think you being cool saying something, oh, I just laid down some bad shit. The last thing you want somebody to do is look at you and say, "What the you talking about?" That makes no sense at all.
And then it becomes unintentionally funny. That's what happens with something like this.
Well, and it is the thing where some stuff is so bad, where it's unintentionally funny, except it's not funny because you look at the running time and how much time you still got to go. You're like,
fair enough.
God damn it! Can we just get through this?
That's what I'm saying. They're doing a whole lot. This doesn't need to be 2.5 hours long because it's a heist film. It's a heist film with a real goofy dystopian sci-fi premise in a way, and that's fine. You leave it in the background. We could play with that, make the movie move fast enough. We're not even worrying about that. But you've got to have good pace, and you've got to realize that your movie needs to be a certain length and make it lean because there's a lot of fat in this film, and you got to make your characters fun. These characters are not they're so busy trying to be cool and tough, they're not fun. And they're not good people, and I like that the movie realizes that, but they are dull as especially Edgar Ramirez, man.
That's the weird thing, because Edgar Ramirez, I think, is a good actor, and I like him in most things I see him in.
He is a good actor.
But if this was the first thing I saw him in, I would go around telling everybody, that guy sucks. Because he's doing no acting.
Edgar Ramirez, I mean, what you see right here, that's his whole.
That's his tone.
That's his
the
tone
entire
for the whole
time.
cadence. Yeah. You could have you could have slapped a wig and a leather jacket on a mannequin.
Yep.
And they could have done the same thing. And there's nothing against Edgar Ramirez, but what they're trying to do is they're too busy trying to sell this guy because he's supposed to be a tough leading man. They're just trying to they're trying to sell him on his looks in this dialogue that does not work.
He's just brooding the entire time, no matter what happens.
Yeah. What they're trying to do is they think they can get by on, again, the dialogue they wrote on his looks, and they feel like the action will do the rest. And there ain't that much action throughout this whole movie.
Much action. It's 80 minutes before you get a really big action scene.
Jesus Christ.
You get 2 sex scenes before that are kind of meaningless, or at least the second one is.
Yeah.
But
and bad dialogue is followed by, dumb dialogue is followed by dumb things. I wish I could play one scene for you, but there's too much music playing in the background. I don't feel like trying to get a copyright on that, but Anna, what's her name?
Brewster.
Anna Brewster and Edgar Ramirez, they have the corniest exchange where they're comparing bruises and gunshot wounds and shit.
yeah.
And it's a dumb piece of dialogue. And what happens after they exchange this dialogue? They do dumb shit, like go to a dirty-ass bathroom and have unprotected sex with each other. I mean, they ain't trying to put some morality on this right here, but that's a dirty bathroom. You'll catch an STD just by walking in to take a piss.
And I mean, I wasn't so much skeeved out by the dirty bathroom, in as much as the story goes. I get it, but it's not in any way a good sex scene. And
Right.
that one actually does lead to something important.
When I say the safest sex scene, I'm talking about the way to shoot, because they don't take no clothes off.
They take no clothes
She
off.
ain't took her panties off. His pants are still on.
Yeah,
I think
there's nobody outside waiting to use the bathroom.
I
just
think what
grinding.
happened was he was just dry humping and just got off on that. And she just kind of like, you don't know what the f- you doing. All right,
No,
sure.
it did seem like that, because it was like, a sex scene where nobody takes their clothes off. We still doing
That bathroom was nasty as f- See, they think, but in their mind, they're thinking, oh, we're edgy. We f***ing this dirty bathroom. No, you're f***ing a dirty bathroom. That's nasty. Ain't nothing edgy about that. But the one who really seems to understand this, the one who really seems to get it, and they're not doing him any favors either, though, is Michael Pitt. Michael Pitt, he's over the top, and he's not good. He's so over the top that he's kind of a cross between Nicolas Cage and Jerry Lewis.
I'm gonna give you 5 words that are gonna make your whole world go upside down. It's gonna make you take that gun out of my face.
Yeah, you fucking lady.
Talking like the professor from
Nutty Professor.
I hope you cut because you get that gun out of my face.
Out of my face. Blam. Oh, sorry. You scared me. I didn't mean to pull the trigger just then.
And he knows what he's doing. He's getting his Jerry Lewis on. He does it twice. I think he does a little bit more, but in that scene right there, he channels Jerry twice.
Which leads me to word 3, which is bullshit.
And I believe that your hypothesis about my formula is a bullshit, lady, Flavin, Flaw, Lavin.
You know, man, I was like, Jesus.
Yeah. After Edgar Ramirez having it dialed down to 1.5, suddenly Michael Pitt is like, no, 12.
Yeah.
12. All through the movie.
So you got one dude who ain't doing shit in this movie. And then you got another one that just had a bunch of candy bars.
Which leads me to word 3, which is bullshit.
And it's the two of them all through the movie. Like,
Yeah.
guys, at some point, but just being two actors, you have to like come together on this.
Right.
Like, understand that you're both in the same scene and work with each other. And one is just like, I'm not budging. No, I'm just going to do this.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not budging. I'm just going to do this.
Yeah.
All right.
It gets so crazy with Michael Pitt, and you often think like, is this too crazy, or should the rest of the movie go like this? Because at one point you're annoyed by how crazy and loud it gets, but then it's like, well, at least something's happening,
Right? That was my thing, too. I was like, I don't like this, but at least he is bringing something to it.
There's throughout this whole movie, for them to pull this heist, they are so into their style. They are so into like the mood of this film and the dialogue, the
Who's
really bad
double-crossing
dialogue.
who
Yeah. It's just like, man, there's nothing going on. It's supposed to be an action heist movie. There ain't shit happening for a 2.5 hour movie. There's nothing happening. But Michael Pitt, but there's a point where it just gets insane. And believe me, it's horribly insane. Like the acting, all the talk I'm talking about with Michael Pitt, his acting gets bad. The guy who plays his father gets bad. The scene at the end is terribly written. But it's almost like, you know something? If the movie did keep this same tone right here, I'd be happy.
I know. You'd go with it.
I'd go with it.
The bullet physics are all jacked up.
Yeah.
People get shot. And
But look at this
it's
shit
a
right
minor
here.
Inconvenience.
Yeah, exactly. Look at this shit right here. Man, look how crazy. It is a terrible scene. But at least it's fun because something's happening.
What kind of sicko his stepmother?
I introduced you to her. Jake, you gave her everything. Oh, grow up, Kevin.
I'm just kind of like, you know what? Yeah, all you motherfuckers get crazy. Yeah, keep going.
You want to get nuts, Jack? Let's get nuts.
All these motherfuckers start losing their mind, and Edgar Ramirez just looking at it like, shit are y'all really mad? Or is this part of the script?
Do I come in here now?
Get out of your party.
I want to act too. I regret not seeing this now. I lost out.
When he's slowly walking up there in between, they're like, why are you getting in the middle of this?
He's just like, oh,
I think Edgar Ramirez really thought they would fight it. Like, well, somebody got to do something about this. Yeah, God damn it. It's just a movie. It's just a movie, y'all. Stop fighting.
Edgar, it's called acting.
The movie, going back to the length of it, it's so frustrating because it could have been cut short. We're talking about how there's subplots with characters. Charlton Copeland's in the movie. First, I didn't recognize him in there, but I'm like, they spend so much time on a subplot with him for nothing.
That goes nowhere.
His conclusion in here, it could have been wrapped up in one scene, and he didn't have to be a major character.
Okay, so I didn't see his conclusion. I saw how he started, and then the movie goes on for another hour without mentioning him. Then it kind of brings him back in.
They don't need him.
And yeah, I'm 20 or 15 minutes away from the ending, and they just started to bring him back. I was like, what's the point?
They do they do nothing with it. I was thinking, like, is he friends with the director and he just gave him a lot of screen time as a favor? Did he write a role for him?
There is another actor from Elysium and District 9 in it. So
that's
it made me
connection.
wonder.
That's connection. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe that is the connection in, because you could have cut 10 minutes of movie out if you took out his subplot, and it leads to nothing. What that scene that he finally has with a certain character could have been it could have been a no-name character.
This had money and actors. There's not a good excuse.
Oh, it's
for it
got.
to be
I tell
this
you
bad.
what, it's got an asylum script.
Yes, that's what I mean. It's got an asylum
That
script.
script is about worth 50 cents. But nah, man. I don't know how much it costs, but it's not a cheap movie at all. Like I said, it's very slick. I like the way. I love the way it looks. There's a lot of style here. I mean, the art direction, set design, I really like a lot. Again, you know, it's probably moodier than too moody for its own good, but definitely some great lighting in this film, man. I'm looking at how the comic looks and everything. It does visually capture the spirit of the comic.
Something you talked about with that car going over the cliff scene. There's a scene where our main character, is doused with gasoline, and yet when the fire is lit, the fire goes everywhere but on him, goes all around him.
Yeah.
And that's where I was like, for real? Because at the point you lit it, that dude's done.
Yeah.
But it is in the comic the same way.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Hey, that is not compared to what this guy did. I get you saying, but that ain't no Taken 3 though.
No, I know.
It ain't
I
like
know.
teleporting out of a car before it blows up.
But for an action movie, it takes about 80 to 85 minutes before you get to the big car chase.
Right.
It's not that impressive, and it's one of these things where bullets in this chase somehow don't break glass.
I can't even recommend this for the style though, because the movie's full of riots and looting and crooked police people and whatnot. And I'm not saying we can't watch that right now. I'm not saying we can't watch that in movies. You know, it's not a moratorium on these kind of things right now. All I'm saying is that if you do put those things in movies right now, it better be goddamn good. And right here, it is not. I can even tell you, y'all like spoilers and whatnot. I'll tell you if you want to hear it. But even the last part of this movie doesn't make sense. It just makes the premise even more dumb. It's like what I already thought was dumb, and y'all should have kind of just sped by that anyway. Y'all try to explain one particular thing with it, and it just puts a huge flaw, a huge plot hole in this film.
I don't know if it's what you're talking about, because like I said, I got to the climax, but not the end. But when...
Yeah, don't worry about it. We're talking. Okay. Yeah. No, I'm probably talking about the thing. I'll do it.
But I might see
this. Yeah, okay. You go ahead. If you got 2.5 hours you want to waste, go ahead. I tell you this. It'll probably be fun to watch.
Good luck
but
with
if I tell you, it's not gonna make.
I'm
it
not.
better.
You can go ahead.
It's not gonna make. It ain't gonna make anything better or worse. Might even make it better.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's some bullshit. Yeah, it's straight up some bullshit.
Despite an intriguing premise that so much could have been done with, the movie, I mean, it being too long is probably the first and biggest offense. But also, there's either not enough acting or too much acting. It's cliche, so much of what happens is predictable.
Yeah.
I don't think the source material is good, but they found a way to make it worse. It's some old bullshit.
Yeah, it really is. And I was trying to give it credit, because I like to give things credit for some of the things they do right within the film. You know, and I told you a lot of things that I liked in here. But man, it's just thinking about, the overacting that was done with some people.
The underacting, as you said.
The overacting, nobody's just acting except Charlton Copeland. They don't even give him enough time to do anything. Nobody's just acting though. Everybody's either overacting or underacting. They got one character and he was a henchman who talks like a Cajun dude or something. I can't even figure out what he is.
Yeah, he's the guy who's in the other in District 9 in Elysium.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they got a guy in here and he's just way over the top. And I was like, I appreciate the effort, man, but you need to sit your ass down too.
And honestly, his character and another one were just one character. They split him into two.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. There is a huge plot hole in this movie that kind of goes in and negates everything. By the end of the movie, there's a double cross. There's going to be a double cross happening.
For the moment you meet this character,
yeah.
it's going to be
this asshole, this tweaker right here. You know Michael Pitt is going to do some shady thing.
Like, why would you ever trust him?
Yeah, he's the son of the biggest gangster in the city. He's tweaking the whole time. He's been shady ever since you've met him. He talks shit to his fiance. The guy's a scumbag, and of course he's going to do a double cross. But the whole thing hinges on, I brought you in to do this big heist because at the end I'm going to double cross you. Oh, and I know you think I can't double cross you because they just put out the brainwave, which keeps everybody from doing crime. But the thing is, when I was in jail and you find out that Edgar Ramirez's brother and Michael Pitt's character were in jail together, and they were two of the test experiments for this.
Okay.
And they were made to beat the shit out of each other. So while he's beating the shit out of his brother, he says, you know why this doesn't affect me? How I beat the brainwave? Because I just stopped giving a
It's like the director and the writers and all the other actors.
Yeah, okay,
Perfect.
that's consistent with the whole movie. But really, so he says, I just stopped caring. So I beat the system. And it's like, all right, well, that's a huge flaw for this Ray right here, because when they show him beating the shit out of his brother, it shows that he beat the system.
Right.
The cops see it. He had lawyers that got him out. Right. So obviously somebody needs to report that this brainwave does not work, because criminals in general don't give a so,
that's true.
That's another case where they made it even somewhat worse than the book, which I didn't think was good either, because it comes to where his character says, okay, this brainwave works where it makes you unable to commit crimes that you know are crimes. But I'm a sociopath, so I don't even know.
Criminals are crazy.
And I'm like, oh. And when they created this thing, they didn't think about that.
Crazy people?
Criminals, a lot of them are sociopaths.
Yeah.
So this shit was from the beginning.
Yes.
So I had to tell you that, people, because I was on the verge of like going by, look, man, you know, it's way too long. I could give this a really, 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 really low rental. But then they got to that point. I'm just like, man, off with this.
Yeah.
I want to hear this shit. Yeah, that's what it is. Like, I beat it because I'm crazy.
They didn't think about that.
Yeah. And he doesn't. He has to add on extra layers of crazy. The way he says it. He gets his joke on. He's like, because a sociopath like me doesn't give a that boy doesn't affect me.
Okay, so that's the last part I saw. I had to leave and come over here.
Yeah, he's like, he should have been like crazy.